Welcome to the AutoSys training video. This video will walk you through the Kubernetes, or K8s jobs, and show you how to automate the tasks on containerized applications such as Kubernetes and OpenShift. To enhance your learning experience, we will use an example of a fictitious bank called the Hedmoral Bank and demonstrate how to automate their Kubernetes requests using K8s jobs and resolve their challenges. Hedmoral Bank is a multinational bank with many branches across the globe. The Hedmoral Bank, as a part of its IT modernization and digital transformation initiative, adopted a containerized architecture for its payment processing systems. As a multinational bank, it operates a complex payment processing system that handles a high volume of transactions during peak business hours from multiple data sources, including online banking, ATM networks, point-of-sale systems, and payment gateways. To ensure real-time processing and reporting for its payment processing, the bank employed a data ingestion microservice that continually loads incoming transaction data into the bank's databases. During peak hours, the incoming data volumes are high. The IT team is manually increasing the scalability of containers whenever the transaction data volumes are high. Due to its manual processes, the bank faces significant operational challenges in achieving real-time data ingestion. They are prone to errors and do not provide the efficiency required to meet the demands of a modern banking environment. To overcome this challenge, the workload automation developers can create the AutoSys Kubernetes jobs. Based on the incoming data volumes, the K8s jobs can automatically increase and decrease the pods. Before we create and set up the K8s jobs, let's understand how the K8s jobs function. The AutoSys Kubernetes jobs helps automate the deployment, scaling, and management of containerized applications such as Kubernetes and OpenShift. AutoSys supports multiple Kubernetes job types. Depending on the task they want to automate on Kubernetes containers, developers can select the relevant job type. Let's enter our training environment and create a couple of K8s jobs to manage the scalability of containers based on incoming data volumes. The Peak Business Scale Deployment job increases the scalability of containers to 50 during peak business hours between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. The Non-Peak Business Scale Deployment job decreases the scalability of containers to 10 during non-peak business hours between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. We will also check the status of these jobs using the autorep command. For this demo, we assume that the environment settings for AutoSys are already in place, and the connection and the security profiles are defined. To create the Peak Business Scale Deployment job using a JIL script, connect to the AutoSys server running on a Linux operating system and open the shell prompt. In the shell prompt, type the JIL command. The JIL prompt opens. Now let's enter the K8s job attributes and their values one by one. Provide a unique name for the job. Define the job type as K8s scale dep. Provide the target machine name on which the job runs. Enable the date and time conditions and specify the days on which the job must run. Specify the start time for the job to run. Specify the connection and the security profile. Specify the name of the Kubernetes deployment. Specify the namespace. Define the number of containers or pods the job must deploy during the peak hours. The job on execution deploys the specified number of pods to manage the peak hour data traffic. Type exit, and the JIL interactive mode ends. AutoSys loads the updated job definition to the database after validation by the JIL interpreter. AutoSys also displays a message stating that the job is scheduled to run at a specified date and time. It also returns an exit code of 0, indicating that the job is updated successfully in the database. Now let's create the Non-Peak Business Scale Deployment job. To create the Non-Peak Business Scale Deployment job using a JIL script, in the shell prompt, type the JIL command. The JIL prompt opens. Now let's enter the K8s job attributes and their values. Provide the unique name for the job, the job type, and the target machine on which the job runs. Enable the date and time conditions and list the days on which the job must run. Specify the start time. Specify the connection and the security profile. Specify the name of the Kubernetes deployment. Specify the namespace. Define the number of containers or pods the job must remove during the non-peak hours. The job removes the pods per the specified number to manage the non-peak hour data traffic. Type exit, and the JIL interactive mode ends. AutoSys loads the updated job definition into the database after validation by the JIL interpreter. AutoSys also displays a message stating that the job will run at a specified date and time. It also returns an exit code of 0 and a message indicating that the job was updated successfully in the database. After the respective job start time, run the autorep command to check the job status. This concludes the AutoSys video on how to automate the tasks on containerized applications such as Kubernetes and OpenShift.